Alright everyone, Jorge Regosa with TCSP with our first tutorial on how to troubleshoot and test your internet at home while you're working remotely. As I mentioned before, this video will be for those that are working or going to school remotely over the internet, and how they can look at the internet speed and how to troubleshoot in case that you're getting a really slow internet connection. There's something that you have to be mindful of, is that the internet is kind of similar to a swimming pool, a public swimming pool. The more people that you have in a swimming pool, the less area that you have to swim. Same idea with internet. If you have a lot of people on the internet, the slower it will get for everybody, because everybody's taking a little bit of that space on the internet. So now with everybody working from home, kids going to school from home, and other people that just stay at home and watching Netflix or anything online, this will affect everybody in your area. So just keep that in mind. It will affect you, unfortunately. There is not really much you can do about, unless you want to pay a lot of money to an internet provider to give you a dedicated bandwidth, but this video is not about that. Today we're going to be focusing on what you have, what you're paying for, and how to make sure that you get that speed as much as we can. So first, your internet provider gives you a bill every month. I want you to look at that bill. That bill usually has a fee that tells you, for internet, you're getting 100 Mbps and we're charging you this much. So if you're getting 100 Mbps, that's the speed that you are supposed to get. However, remember this swimming pool idea. Everybody's getting internet, you're gonna get slowed down to half of it if there's just too much usage in your area. You cannot do anything about that, but you get an idea of what you're getting. If you're paying 100 Mbps or 200 Mbps and only getting 10 or 5 of your internet, then that's a real problem. That means you have to restart your equipment, or there's something wrong with your equipment, or there's something wrong in your area, and then you have to call the internet provider to complain, and hopefully they will address it. So let's get into this. Let's look at the first things that we had to check. First, we're gonna open any internet browser of your preference. In my case, I will be using Google Chrome. You can use Internet Explorer, you can use Safari, Firefox, anything you like. I will open Google Chrome and I will go to this website, speedtest.net. When you go to that website, just press enter and then just go to go. You're gonna click on that button. This button, what it's going to do is that it's going to tell you your internet speed. Just wait until it finishes. It might take a little bit longer than you expect. In this example, so far, I'm around between 45 Mbps, and that's okay right now. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna think that we have less internet than this, and we're gonna troubleshoot it. Just please understand, the main number that you care about while you're working from home is this guy right here called download Mbps. 46 should be decent for me to work from home, but I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot it. Okay, so first thing, we had to figure out which one is our modem and which one is our router. In our case, this guy right here is our modem and this one is our router. You might be wondering, Jorge, how can I tell which one is each one? In most cases, Ares is one of the known brands for modems. There is also Cisco and other 2 or 3 brands that are really popular, but they usually have the same design. However, the biggest giveaway are the cables in the back. Give me 1 second, let me go to the back. In the back, you usually have a few cables. In my case, I had the power cable, a coaxial cable, like the old TV cable, and the internet cable. The biggest giveaway is this cable right here. You have a coaxial cable to the modem. This cable is the one that brings the internet from the street. So if this guy is disconnected, you don't have internet, doesn't matter what you do with the rest of the equipment. So given that, if you follow this other cable, which is the cable that I have plugged in right here, if I just follow that cable plugs in right here to my router. So now we know this is my modem, this is my router. When we have these internet issues, the first thing to do is unplug and restart the modem, but ideally you also want to restart your router. Your modem usually doesn't have any power button. The only way to restart it is by unplugging the cable. Once you plug the cable and you look at the lights, all the lights should go off. In some cases, the lights might be blinking and it doesn't turn off. What do? In that case, it means that this device has a battery inside. You have to take out the battery. Usually at the bottom, you will see a little compartment where you press a button, open the compartment, and there's a battery about this size, and you can just pull it out. Once you pull it out, all the lights will go off. Wait about 10 seconds, 15 seconds, plug it back in, close the compartment, and then we can go and plug it back in. Same thing if you don't have a battery backup, a battery inside the device, just go ahead and wait for at least 15 seconds and plug it back in. Once you plug it back in, you will notice that the lights start turning on. This doesn't mean that it's working yet. It's booting up. As you see, it's flashing some lights in between. Might be difficult to tell because of the camera, but only the power is on right now. Some devices, the power will be flashing, and then at some point the on lights will be flashing. While we wait for this guy to turn on, we will do the same thing with the router. My router, in my case, it has a power button right there where it says power. I can press to turn it on and off. However, if you don't have one, don't be worried. You can just unplug the power cable, which is the one that is different to the other cables. In my case, I have a power button, so I'm gonna press the power. I will look at the front and I see that there is no power. Plug it back, press it one more time, and you see the lights start turning on. If we go back to our modem, I will go back to the front. The light of power is stable now, and this guy right here is flashing. In my case, my internet light in here is called online, and it's still off. That means the router, the modem, is still booting up. It's not on yet. Just think about your computer. When you press the power button, it takes a few seconds or minutes to turn on, to fully load everything. It's the same thing with these two guys. They take some time to come back online. Right now, my online light is flashing. I know my modem, when it is fully boot up, this light will start flashing. My router, it says that it's already fully powered on, and it has internet. However, that can be misleading sometimes. If that's on, but this guy is still flashing or is off, you don't really have internet. Once I did that, I will go back to my laptop. In my case, my laptop gets disconnected from the Wi-Fi. You see that little planet in there? That means that I'm not connected. If I put my mouse in there, it tells me no internet access. I will just connect real quick. So I will just select it. In my case, this is my internet. It's gonna connect. And once it connects, now I have a different icon at the bottom. These are little waves. That's the international symbol for Wi-Fi. All right, we are back to here. We're gonna go to stay on our website, and we're gonna try to do one more test. And now we will take a look at the difference after restarted the router. So luckily for us, our internet improved. In not every case the internet will improve this much. In some cases you're gonna see a huge spike in terms of the internet speed, and there are a few things that you have to understand with the internet. A lot of you, when you are at home, you have an internet connection. For example, let's say your internet connection is called home. Your home, you might have home, and then you might have home 5G. The difference between the home and home 5G is that home 5G gives you more internet speed. It's faster than the home, the regular home. The difference is that because you have more speed, you have less range. The farther you get, the less internet you're gonna get, and it's gonna be a lot slower, and it's not gonna reach out to a larger distance. The regular home in that case will be available in a wider area than the 5G, so you can use it in different areas. The other part that you have to keep in mind is that the farther you get from the router, the more walls that you have between yourself and the router, the internet is going to be affected more and more every time. So try to sit down as close as to the router as you can, and if you can, if possible, always try to use your connection for the internet. In this case, my port is this one right here. That's my network cable or my network port, which will go install. You will plug in a cable in here on the router and any of these ports, and that cable will go to my laptop. You will see a huge improvement of the internet. Give me 1 second, I will get a cable, I will plug in that one to my laptop. I'm gonna do another test and see how much it improved. All right, everyone, I'm back. I plugged in the cable, as I say, to my router, and the other end of the cable to my network port, which I have one in here. A lot of laptops don't have this connection anymore, unfortunately, but if you have it and you can use it, use it. I just did a little test on my network again, and with this connection now I'm getting 100 megs. So you guys saw the difference. When we started, we have about 40 something megs. Then after we did this whole thing, we went up to 70 to 80, and after we plug in the cable, we got 100. So anytime that you have a network connection that you can hardwire your connection, is always better. It's a little more inconvenient because you are placing everything in one location. You cannot really have that mobility, but when you're working from home, you're not looking so much for that mobility. You're looking for having something more reliable, and having a wire connected to your laptop is always better. If you had that chance, even that you had to throw some cables around, just like I'm doing here to be able to show you guys, just do it. This is a temporary fix for a lot of you. A lot of you are looking forward to go back to your office. A lot of you are looking to do more work remote, which you had to discuss with your employer, and it might be better for everybody to do more remote or more on site. Everybody's life is different. I personally like to go to my office, believe it or not. So I like to see the people on my team, make sure that they are communicating properly, because sometimes the communications get lost when you're working remotely. But some of you might like to just work from home, not have any distraction, nobody walking into you, that if you can shut down everything and just focus on your project, you can get more done, and that's acceptable. That everybody's different, everybody's business is different, but you always have to look for the options. If you're gonna be doing that, if you're gonna be working from home, I highly recommend that you spend the time or money and hardwire your equipment at home so you can have something more reliable. That's it for today. I believe I covered most of the areas for the internet portion. If I did not, please put it down in the comments. Send me an email. Just I will put some contact information in there as well. If you want me to talk about something different, or if something that I spoke about was not clear, please feel free to let me know. I'm here looking for ways to make everything as simple and in a plain language where everybody can understand. So if you, for some reason you say, Jorge, I have all the equipment that looks completely different, I'm not sure, maybe just put a picture and I will give you a few ideas of what it is so other people can see the same idea. Once again, we have a beautiful modem in this case, basic router from home, my laptop. Hardwire is the best thing to do. Reboot them at least once a week just to keep things in shape while working from home. And that's basically it for today. Thank you everyone for watching. Take care.